Good afternoon. I sprayed that cornfield today and one of the vetch cornfields. I had two of them. This right here is starting to get some weeds in it. It was the first field, so I went in and sprayed it. Vetch, it killed it. Looked like something was coming back. I don't know if it was the weed or the vetch, but I went ahead and sprayed it anyway because we're supposed to get rain later this week. So while it was dry, I wanted to knock it out, and I didn't want to be recording while I was rowing it. So got that done. It's probably about 90 acres I sprayed. My brother he had to fix a couple bearings on the rowing basket on the turbo till, so he did that. We're going to go unhook her because we won't use her for a couple months. Put the tractor away, and then we're going to go take the disc and unhook her. We want the disc hooked second. That way, during weed season, we always hook the big tractor up to the disc. That way, because of fires and stuff like that, we have a way to hurry up and put them out. But we're going to put them away and put the tractors away. I got my brother over there. They should be in that side box. We'll just get some bolts. I got John Deere coming down tomorrow. They're going to fix what didn't get fixed that we paid for the other day. They're coming down. They said mid-morning they're sending a new tech down from a different store. They said he's going to stay here until the tractor is fixed right. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway, because it's paying for something 2 or 3 times and we just can't do it no more. So, but the land tractor, they're trying to figure it out, so we're going to get her fixed, hopefully right. Just I don't know, you might have to put one through it. If it don't work, we'll find one over here. Normally they're either in your tractor or that tractor. The bench is a mess when we're farming. Let's see, that's long enough. And here, this one right here work. You have to get a nut for it. Here, get a nut for this one. I got another one. Yeah, that'll work. It don't matter. It don't need much. Do you want to say hi to your wife? He wants you to ask him to marry him, Sheila. What he really wants is a brand new F-250. Yes, he does. I want a new F-250. We always pin them up because these wings will actually leak when you unhook them. I got one in the pickup that's long enough. Yes, the wings will actually leak out, or ours does. But they definitely have pins in them because they tell you that when you unhook them, if you don't pin them, they will leak. Ours does. I mean, maybe nobody else's does, but ours does for some reason. There you go. That'll work. But yeah, we don't want to keep things out in the sun, so you got to get a nut for it. I'll see you over there. Try not to run over all my corn. Shut these doors. They were actually calling for... Let me go tell him real quick. Here is another first cornfield that I planted. That stuff is getting really tall. Should have actually sprayed it today, but I wanted to wait a little bit longer. there's a ditch here. Somewhere up here. Hey, Miss Barb. That is actually one of our landlords for some farms that we rent. Older Alex. This is actually the first cornfield that I planted right here. It's getting really tall. This is where I was testing the planter out, and it's a good stand. Looks good. This is where I was learning the planter. Looks pretty good. Or everything was working. It didn't start out working, but it finished working. My corn's coming along pretty good. I had to replant this front field and that front field over there. I didn't have to, but Jess was not happy with the stand. And I did put a new flagpole up, American flag. All the roses are blooming. So that's good. You look, you can see the corn coming through the vetch. He had the wheels locked up. Let's try it again. I'm gonna put you all down. Oh, that's nice. I guess they ripped the power cord off of it when they used it. So she don't have lights on her now. I'm gonna wait for him to get back. We unhook the disc here. We'll back the disc up in front of it, and she'll be the first thing we hook up. Like I said, we always keep the disc right with the combine while we're cutting wheat in case there's a field fire or something. We got the disc there to hurry up and put it out. So, but the draper needs much because I replaced 2 belts on it last year, some bearings. I replaced all the teeth right before beans, so they should still be fairly new. So I'm gonna go just sit and wait. He's running over to get his tractor, so I'm gonna sit here and wait. The rest of the corn that I got, I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit taller. Like I said, we don't do a pre-emerge on our corn anymore. To me, it's pointless. A lot of people do it, and then you see a lot of people respraying once the corn comes up. We just do a burn down, let the corn get up a certain height, and then we go back in there, and then we do our final spray. Saves us a lot of fuel in the sprayer, a lot of wear and tear on the sprayer, and it saves us a lot of money in chemicals, because as you all know, chemicals are ridiculously expensive. I've never found them to work when you do a pre-emerge. You know, certain guys tell you it does, but you'll see them right back out there spraying when the corn gets, you know, shin high. So how's it really work? But that's what's going on today. Check out One Lonely Farmer with his big 24-row planter. I'm getting ready to text him and see if he's rolling her. Let's see if he lowers it or if he leaves her high and she hits the building. Let's see what you're gonna do, Alex. Oh, look, he lowered her. He's smart. That boy's got it. He's such a good worker. Yeah, we try to keep everything put away. We don't like any of our stuff sitting out, even our tillage stuff. If we got a shed for it, we'll put it in there when we're not using it. If we're using it, that's a different story, but if we're not, then we definitely put it away. This isn't the best ideal thing. If the back was enclosed, it'd be perfect, but you know, the wind comes in, blows rain, but at least it's put in from the sun, and most of the rain don't hit it unless it's backed up too far. Oh, that's close. That's very close. That's a big damn disc. I would really like to trade that in and get a new style. I think it's a 2620 with the baskets already on her. Not a new one, but a decent used one. Get in there and shake it. Hope it don't run over me. Back window. The window. There you go. Nothing like an Ice R tractor. I love them things to death. They really are nice tractors. All right, morning. Do a corn check on this decob. It is, I don't actually know the number because I'm not used to planting decob, but we planted some, they told us it was a good number. It's 112 day corn. I might have the number up at the farm, but I'll show you what it looks like so far. We planted 100, I think it's like 110 acres on this farm of it, so we'll see what it's like. Got a little field over here of it, and I mean, it come up good. Pretty good stand all the way around if you're looking. This is a pretty big field. It goes all the way back. I think this is like 48. Huge field up there, and then there's another front field on the other side to wheat. But this was the first of it that I planted. All the others coming up. I think it's about a week difference. So. Pretty good. This is all no-till except for the end rows. We ran a turbo till over them, and we ripped them and then we turboed them just because of the compaction with the combine from last year and stuff like that. So we'll walk out here and check it. Row shut off, so if you look, actually gained a yield advantage when we finally got a planter that had the section control. And the planter we have shuts off every row. You know, it's not 4 rows or 6 rows at a time. It's every row shuts off. And on the 2x2, it shuts off 4 sections, so it's a 16 row. So it's coming in, say you're on an angle. When it comes in straight, it shuts them all off at once. But I got the section control shutting off probably about middle way, and then starting about middle way going in, because it sits so much further back than the row units do, that I want to be able to make sure I hit these last couple plants. You know, if it cut off the exact same time that the seed cuts off, well, then it's going to stop the nitrogen back here, and this whole section through here isn't going to get any of the 2x2. So it is on section control also. I do like that. So I have it stopping somewhere in here. So as it's coming through, the seed shuts off, and when the openers get about here, the 2x2 is right about there, and that's where I got it shutting off at. So I really like that. And plus, saves you a lot of nitrogen on an angle. If you're planting in on an angle, it would, you know, you'd have to run way in there, and you'd be wasting a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have a little grass spot there, but the rest of the field is pretty clean, and we didn't put no pre-emerge on any of this. So all I did was burn down. But once the corn gets up, probably shin high, I'll be coming back with Halex and atrazine and smoke whatever did grow. But that'll give you a better idea of the height. Looks really good. Doesn't like all those deer getting straight rows. I like the way that looks. Very clean. And then here we'll show you the plants up close. So it's pretty healthy. I did get one that was a fraction over. As you can see, there's one here and there. Sometimes that's coming in where it turns on quicker, so it'll actually start. As you can see, it's like every other 16 rows. But I'm fine with that. Couldn't be happier. Everything seems to be looking pretty good. I'll take you down here to the angle field where it angles around this corner and show you what I'm talking about. Big fields like these is where I wish we had a grain cart. I'll show you how it works even on angles. If you look, if I can pick it up or not, shuts off perfect, even on angles. See that first row, nothing's inside of it. Some guys set them, they like to plant into the second row, but if you do that all the way around the whole field, it just seems like a lot of corn wasted. And you know, you don't, even if you didn't have section control, you're not really wasting it on a straight track like that. But on an angle track, you know, to plant in, your planter is way over there, and you still got to come way in here. So you're actually planting half your planter in here, probably at least 6 rows deep. Like I said, some people don't believe in it, but we've seen the results of it, and it really, I don't know, I think it really increases the yield, plus it saves on your seed. So there's 2 win-win situations in the whole thing to me. But the field is clean. I got that little grass patch. I don't know if maybe I don't know why I have that over there. But everything else is pretty clean. I got this one little grass thing here that'll get ready to solve this problem. Actually, you know what? I'll throw that over here on the filter strip. I am not a believer in these CRP strips around your field. They are nothing but a weed causing problem around your field, in my opinion. A lot of these, sometimes I would turn and just keep planting, but I do stop and do it because you can't turn a combine. All you do is knock corn over when you go around and turn like that and try to plant in when it's so drastic. Some fields I probably did it, but I try not to on a lot of them. But everything looks pretty daggone good over here. Got some that didn't come up, but that's because I was close to the driveway, and this driveway's been here who knows how long, and I'm sure it was totally hard ground. But this is decob 112 day. Looks pretty good. I'm using my brother's new side-by-side to ride around in. The call from Lang Tractor. I do have a John Deere Tech coming down, but I figured I'd come over and look at this corn first while I was here. So I'm gonna head back up to the shop because it'll be here soon and get the 18335R that I plant with, get it fixed, hopefully, and get her going with no more problems. Alright, so I'm going to show you 108-day seed consultant corn. This was the second field that I planted, and I did spray it yesterday with Halix and atrazine, so these milkweed should be dying. You can see my sprayer tracks. Didn't tear up any corn. This was the start of really getting the planter going, figuring it out on a big field. I had that little teeny field that I did over by my farm, but this was kind of working, getting everything going, as you can see. It is coming along nicely, growing up tall. Here because I got 16 inroads, even though it's a long field. I always do inroads on this end. You can see where the planter cut on and off here. But to me, it looks like it's growing pretty good, Give you a bird's eye view of what it looks like from the ground if we can. Looks pretty good. So that's just a couple fields. It's 108 day. That was seed consultant, which was actually our best corn this year. First time we used it, but it blew away everything. So this year we tried different mix, Pioneer, seed consultant, and Agrigold. See how they went decom, so we'll see how it all does. Wind blowing pretty good today. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or not, but we're going to see what they all do. So, and we also tried to prove a 40 on 100 acres of Agrigold, 115 day, and 100 acres of 108 day seed consultant. This is just your regular seed consultant with no treatment. We did it over on some other farms that we have. We did the treatment on them, so we're looking forward to seeing how that works. I don't know. We'll try it. Alright, good morning. It's Wednesday, and I came back to the first place that we planted soybeans, and we'll see what they look like. They're all coming up pretty good. Look pretty good. Pretty good. We'll go over here and check my swap control. These are a lot taller than the other ones, so we'll see how all that works. But they look good though. For any of you think that compaction when you're using swap control on soybeans don't work, you can clearly see this is the planter track and beans are coming up through it. So that's all a myth. And I still got some, you know, popping through. So they're not quite all. Some of them that probably were a little compacted, a little bit more coming through. Like these right here, they're starting to come through, but most of them are up. So let's check it out. Let's see here. Here we go. So here is, I think that's my last line. And as you can see, the soybeans are right up to it. Let's see, where's it at? Right here's the last line. So there's a piece of corn. There was still some corn in the tender. Not corn in the tender, but little pieces up in the corners that you can't get out. But clearly the swap control works. It planted in to about right here at the second and third row is when it planted in. Like I said, with soybeans, I don't mind planting in a little bit, but it does save a lot from planting, people putting the planter down way back here or way up here. I mean, it definitely saves you seed, and as you can see, I mean, the beans are coming up pretty. This was the first, well, that right there, actually back there was the first field that I planted, but I moved right up here. It all happened the same exact day. But they look good. Really good. Very happy. There's the end rows. There you go. Looks good. And as I drive out of the farm, I'll show you. I mean, they're up pretty good. Now there's another farm we got over there, 60-some acre farm on the other side of this little cornfield farm that them beans are up to. They're not quite as tall as these, but they're poking through. You can look down the lines and see them up, but as you can see, they're all coming up pretty good. So pretty happy. Did plant these about 1.5 inches. You know, my dad didn't like me planting them 1.5 inches. Thought it was too deep, but it turns out it's the right call. This is a little bit sandier ground. And if we do have a little bit of a drought, I wanted them a little bit deeper on this ground, just because I wanted the roots down a little bit deeper. That way they'd be in some moisture. You don't really think about that. You think about that on corn, but it works the same with beans. So, but they came up beautiful. I think so. I mean, they're only going to get better as they get taller, better looking. So, but pretty happy with them. Glad that they're coming up. That's the main thing, is getting them to pop up. I haven't been across town. Of course, I just did get done planting across town. And I just left the planter set at the same depth because that was a little bit thicker cover crop that we had over there. So I figured with a little bit of thickness of the cover crop that it would all equal out. So, and I checked them over there and they were still about inch and a half, 1.25 inches, something like that. So if they come up like this, be very happy. Planting them at 170,000. A lot of people say you don't need to put beans, maybe 130, 140. I know some people are going down to 100, but that's the guys out west that got 6 foot of topsoil. We don't have 6 foot of topsoil, so you can't really judge what you do around here, what you see on them TV shows out west or other YouTube channels out west. That doesn't work around this area. I plant them at 170, and then when we get after wheat beans, we thicken them up to 185, 190,000. And the stand always turns out pretty good. We did go back to 15-inch rows instead of the drilling them, because drilling them, we were wasting a lot of beans, and the planter puts the beans right there, right where you want them, versus the drill is just a controlled spill, is all it is. I just feel like you waste a lot of beans when you drill, and we could tell this year using swap control, we had a lot of extra beans left over, and as you can see, the stand is pretty good. So we saved a lot of beans, plus got a good stand. The planter counts the numbers. You know, drill, you're just throwing them in there. Every time you pick up on the ends, the tubes leak out, you know, dump the rest of the beans out. Every end row you turn around. So I'm not a fan of that neither. Of course, them beans probably still do grow, but you know, some of them probably don't. So I'm just not a fan of it. I like 15-inch row. I like planting with a planter. It's just more accurate, consistent, and it works out pretty good now. Especially now that we got two planters, a corn and a bean planter, I don't have to go through and try to change the brushes and the plates, and everything can kind of stay the same. I did have a buddy that called me yesterday. When you, like our bean planter, when you pull them out, you know, it's 16 rows for corn, but then you fold the other rows down for beans, so you end up with 31. Well, he still has that planter. He plants 16 corn. Then when he wants beans, you got to change all the brushes out because it takes a different brush. Well, every time you do that, them brushes go in on a little clip, and I tell you, you cannot get them brushes out without breaking them clips. I don't care who you are, you're always breaking them clips, and there's a clip on each side of the brush. I have some broke on mine, but even if you have one clip in there, it still holds it pretty good. You just take a little bit of silicone and put on the back of the other side where the other clip is and push it in, it'll hold it tight. That's what I told him. He wouldn't know if we had any clips. I said, no. I said, I stopped buying them damn things because, you know, everything you buy for deer is expensive, and you break them all the time. It's just not worth it. Now, if you broke both of them, yes, you would have to replace it, but one side isn't bad. So I told him we stopped doing it, and I told him how I fixed my problem. So I don't know if he did that or if he went and bought the clips. You know, every farmer is different, but that's how I solved my problem. But as you can see, planter works great. Every row works great so far. So we'll see how it goes. All right, here's the front of the farm. The back I was at, way back there where I just was. So I'll show you these beans. These are like 2-day difference. Ground's a little bit different, but same result. They're still coming up very pretty. Very, very pretty. And once again, swap control using the planter. It doesn't seem like it affects it with the compaction turning. But looks good. They are coming up nice. Just figured the beans, show you the beans coming up. Corn's coming up good, beans coming up good, everything's coming up good. Let's just hope we can get the rain this year to cap it off and have a good crop on both ends. Wheat crop looks good. We do have some ryegrass coming up in it where we had a little bit of a drought. I know it's weird, we're getting rain, but we had a little bit of a dry spell there, and got some ryegrass to grow a little bit, but it won't be an issue. Let's hope that I really wish that the wheat crop would hurry up and get done so we can get it cut and get the beans in, but who knows? It'll probably be end of June, I'm thinking, before everything's ready. I don't know. But that's the progress so far. Everything looks pretty good. Just figured I'd show you. And that's going to be the end of the video. So like, subscribe, and whatever. whatever else that everybody always tells you. See you later.